No, but that's nice. Oh my God.
I'll ask everyone if you would join me in a moment of silent prayer in remembrance of Edith Dupin and her family for many years' contributions she made to our community. Our most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we're thankful for this beautiful community, the wonderful community that you blessed us with. Thankful, dear Heavenly Father, for the many years dedication that Edith Dupin gave to our community, and I pray that we remember her this time as she passed away last week, and I pray that we be with her family and keep them in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray and ask that you be with many families out there that's recently lost loved ones or going through trying time with illnesses or dealing with our economy. Pray and ask that you continue to be with our military servicemen and women that continue to fight to protect our freedom both here and throughout the world, and I pray that you keep them safe and out of harm's way and be with their families as they're disconnected from their loved ones. Also pray and ask suffering lost their loved ones that lost their lives fighting to protect their freedom or due to illness. Dear Heavenly Father, we're so truly thankful you blessed us better than we deserve. Because of your grace, we're here today. Because of your grace, we have today and a hope for tomorrow. I ask, dear Heavenly Father, during this meeting that the decisions that we make will be pleasing to you, and as in always that we do your will and not our own. And I pray that the path that you set out for each one of us, that we stay on that path and seek your guidance every day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the October 15th City Council meeting, and before we get started, I ask everyone to turn your cell phones off or place them on vibrate out of respect for the meeting. And also welcome everyone that's here today, and welcome those that are watching on our Channel 2, and also to let everyone know that we are recording all of our meetings now and our work sessions, and you can watch those online at mayortelevision.com. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the October 1st meeting, and council received that, copy that in their packets. If there's any corrections, deletions, or additions, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
And motion second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. All right, we have a few presentations. Is there someone here from United Way that? Okay.
Mayor Walker, City Council, good to be with you today. My name is Kirk Chadwick. I'm General Manager of Fischbach, but also I'm the Vice President of the Board of United Way this year, and also served as the Chairman of the Community Investment Team, which is the group that's charged with making all the allocations for all the fundraising. And so we are grateful for the opportunity to be with you today and to just talk to you a little bit about United Way. I'm going to speak for just a few minutes, and then we'll have Darren Williams, who is leading our campaign for leadership giving, and he'll spend most of the time talking to you. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about United Way. I know that you all are very, very familiar with United Way, have been involved for some time. The reason I know that, I mean, I don't really know all of you. I know some of you pretty well. But I know that because you are involved in city government, I know that you care about the community. And really, we know that when there are really three elements I always think about that have to be in sync to make things right in any community. That's the government, industry, and charitable organizations and agencies. And when they're in sync and moving together, then the community's in sync and doing the right things. Our mission for United Way is connecting the community for the common good. And our goal, I think, would be very similar to what your goals are, is that every citizen in Hardin County is self-sustaining in the areas of health, education, and income. Now, from my experience, there are a lot of people asking for your time and for your money. I think you've probably experienced that too. At least I don't, probably if you think about it, we're not making a lot of choices in our lives between good and bad. Normally our choices are between good, better, and best. And so we're really trying to do the best thing with our time and with our money and with our energies. And so I was approached about 4 years ago with United Way, and my first response was, well, you know, I'm pretty busy. And I'm really very involved with my church and my faith, and most of my charitable contributions go there, and I feel like that's the best place for my money to go. And then as I thought about it, I thought if I'm going to be a leader in this community, and if I'm going to do what will be best for this community, then I have to think outside of just my faith. And the reason I say that is because having been very involved in my faith, and my faith has a lay clergy, and I've been very involved at even a welfare level, I know that churches in the community cannot individually solve every problem of every family. Because I know that as families came to me and needed help, that I helped them until I couldn't help them anymore, and then I said, we need to kind of get you over to Helping Hand of Hope, or we need to get you to the soup kitchen, or we need to get you somewhere that can help you with some things that we aren't able to help you with. And so I know that those organizations are critical and vital, and so I felt if I'm really going to be a leader in this community, then I have to put my money and my time and my energy where my mouth is and be involved in United Way. It has been a great blessing to me. I think it is the best organization, not just because it's a fundraising organization that's an umbrella organization over every major charitable agency in the 5-county region, but because it really shows leadership, it shows vision, and it allows the government, industry, and charitable organizations to be united for the common good. So we want to talk to you a little bit about how you can be involved in United Way. To do that, I'm going to turn the time to Darren Williams, and he's going to do a presentation with regards to leadership giving.
Thank you. Thank you for starting with prayer. I haven't been to one of these before. I don't know if I always see that on Channel 2. That was a nice way to get things started. Excellent. Well, thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. My name is Darren Williams. I'm the operations manager out at Dow Corning. And you might be wondering where I'm from at this point. I'm actually from Hodgenville, big city neighboring here, with my accent. I'm here to talk to you about United Way because it's a place you can put your money that's going to help your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your relatives. It helps people within our community. It's not monies that go to national organizations that leave here. My family gives to those type of organizations too, and we encourage you to give to those. This is an organization that can help make the folks in our area self-supportive. It is a hand up. It's not a handout. The people we're helping are working people that are trying to make it in today's times. So it's not people that are just looking for a handout. United Way of Central Kentucky is celebrating 10 years this year. So we are an independent organization here in town. It helps our folks. We are a 5-county region of Meade, Breck, Hardin, LaRue, and Grayson counties. So 5 counties, about 200,000 people in those 5 counties. Last year, United Way helped 80,000 people. 80,000 people. Some of those were double counts. They helped from multiple agencies. But 80,000 people, every $10 folks gave, about $800,000 last year, went out to help people. I don't know of another organization that I give to that $10 might help change someone's life. It's an excellent way to invest your money. So I want to tell you a little bit how I became a leadership giver and why we're here today, because I believe it comes down to this. It's as simple as asking folks. Folks are good. We've seen a big increase in giving so far this year because we simply got out and asked people. I was fortunate. I grew up in a loving home with 2 parents that loved me. I got out into the world and I realized everybody didn't grow up so fortunate. I thought we were the normal growing up, and I told my mother later on we were the abnormal. We were very blessed to have what we have. I saw my parents giving sacrificially, not only to our family, but to our community. And that's where my commitment to the community came in. I saw my mother, Rita Williams. She became chairman of the Board of Education in LaRue County, first woman to become chairman, then the city council, then the Rotary Club. She started paving the way for ladies back in the 70s before it was very popular. And as I always say, ladies get things done. I don't know why the men were so stubborn many years ago, but they get things done, so we appreciate the work you ladies do. I started working when I was 10 years old, making my own money, and giving it away was not on my horizons. It's not something I thought about. It was my money. I'd worked for it. Why should I give it away? And I think we have a lot of people there in those positions today. I've worked 2 jobs my entire adult life, and I haven't ever really thought about that much about giving money away. And then in 2007, my father passed away. I watched over 1,000 people come through the funeral home. So your dad changed my life in this way or that way. I realized that he had changed people's lives silently throughout his whole life because he was giving in ways that I wasn't aware of. And I looked at my life and decided, what am I doing to help change other people's lives? Am I being too selfish with what I have, or am I helping other people? And that's when United Way came along the same time frame, 2008. Larry Tarvestad came to me. He was a plant manager at Dow Corning at the time. He said, Darren, would you be a leadership giver? And this is getting to the meat of it right here. Would you give $1,000? That's what a leadership giver at the time was. Today we have emerging leadership givers. That's $500, $20 a week. Then $1,000, then $2,500, $5,000, and $10,000. Yes, we have a gentleman that's a $10,000 giver in our community. I believe we can get more that are $10,000 givers. At that time, 4% of all the giving that came through United Way, 4% came from 25 people that went into United Way. Today, with Larry's efforts, beginning in 2008, 26% of all the giving that comes through United Way today are leadership givers at $500 or more. So when Larry came to me and asked me, I thought, are you crazy? I'm not going to give $1,000 to anybody. But I look back and I was given $600 at the time. If you never lost anybody that you truly loved, you don't understand life just yet. And got a little knock on my door, and my dad said, why don't you go ahead and give him another $400, boy? Well, it's not going to hurt you a whole lot, and it is tax deductible if you don't know. So a tax deductible gift these days, $400 costs you about $200, right? So not a huge dent in your total income. So then I went home. I told my wife about I'm going to be a leadership giver to United Way. She said, well, I'm running the campaign out at First Federal Savings Bank, so I'm going to be a leadership giver also. So the point of that story there is she gave $400 more. She didn't buy a couple pair of shoes or a couple outfits that she might have liked. But by that one man asking, hey, Darren, would you be a leadership giver? United Way came up with another $800 by one man asking one person that then asked more people and more people and more people. So that's the reason I'm here today. Since we've been given this, my wife and I decided we'd become benefactor givers. That's the $2,500 level and more. That supports 1,041 little backpacks, little fellas that go home on the weekends that have something to eat, because the one thing we don't get to choose in life is who our parents are. We don't get that choice. A little fella can't help it if he can't eat or she can't eat over the weekend. But I know one thing, a little fella can't learn if they don't have something to eat and they're not in good shape when they come back to work. Well, back, my daughter's 12 years old. She got to go out and see the giving away of the food packs. She works out at Feeding America quite often, packing backpacks, packing food bags. And at the time she's packing these bags, she really doesn't understand what she's doing. She knows the backpack program goes on at school, but she really doesn't know who's involved in it. This day, a little child that goes to her school comes through the line. She said, Daddy, she's in my class. All of a sudden, that backpack, those food bags had a face. When you put a face on something, sometimes it's a little harder to say, no, I don't want to give or participate in that organization. So that changed her way. When Chris called me this year and said, hey, Darren, would you be a leadership giving chair? I said, Chris, I don't have time, buddy. I work 2 jobs, got my own business. I'm building a garage at home. My life's busy. My daughter plays a lot of sports. I got that little knock on my door from my dad that said, go ahead and do it, boy. And I think we're going to make big changes this year because we're asking good people like you all to get out there and consider doing it. And then the thing I really want you to do, get out and ask other people, hey, won't you participate in United Way and get involved in United Way? I work at Dow Corning. There's a lot of great people. I know it can go at a high level. We have 130 people that give out of 200 to United Way, and 37 of those are leadership givers at the $500 level or above. So I know people can give at a high level, but it always comes down to the one simple thing. You have to be asked. So all I'm here today is ask you guys if you'll consider being a leadership giver at the $500 level or above, if you'll ask people in your organizations that you represent to be leadership givers, if we can get involved in city government and ask those folks that can, if they can participate and give at that level. I think it'll help change our community. I think as people give, the one thing I know is no matter what religious beliefs you may have, hopefully everybody believes in one God, is if you'll give, it'll be given back to you. And my wife and I have seen so many blessings come through our lives since we've gotten involved and started giving money away and quit holding it all for ourselves. It's made a big difference in our lives. And I want everybody else to experience what we've experienced from that standpoint. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you consider being a leadership giver and working with your organizations, your folks to be leadership givers as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.
in North Park, as a teacher there, I always knew the services were there, and I really never understood it until I had kids of my own. I've seen children who have not qualified for preschool services. Having them come into my classroom, I already saw that they had an advantage over kids who had no experience whatsoever. So once my children, and I realized they were of age, they could go there, I started having them attend.
Before the mentoring program came along, my son hated school. He's inspired now with his mentor. He's doing great in school and looking forward to the future. His mentor has been an inspiration for him to succeed.
Tough struggle. The only vehicle that we had broke down, and we was having trouble paying bills, and of course, taking the money away from bills. Our repair of the car was just, we couldn't do that. Every single church that we contacted, going went there, and their money shut down, and said that everything's going to be okay for the next way. That they do have the money to help us. So she went out and she purchased the parts to fix the car. I'm working and my wife working, and the bills are caught up, and we do have a little extra, and that is wonderful.
It brings me along for people is I never thought that I would be in this situation, and when they get in that situation, it's devastating to them to ask for help. United Way is a way for them to get help without losing their dignity. I done that a long time ago, so I know what they're going through. I try to make the transition easier for them. I tell them of the different programs that the Alliance and the United Way helps with.
I worked for 27 years and lost my job at age 59, and I was on medications and stuff then, and I just didn't know where to turn. But really, that helped me and my wife both. She got diabetes, and they really brought her along. She's under control with it now. If it wasn't for them, I'd been in the grave long ago. I encourage everybody that can afford to do that.
Our biggest problem in Hardin County, we have a lot of diabetics. Diabetics who are losing limbs because they didn't get care in time. Cardiac patients, people with high blood pressure. We've actually lost people. It's heartbreaking, but they have to choose between feeding themselves and taking medicine. The clinic takes care of it. It's wonderful what they're doing.
I want to be able to serve the community that I live in. The VISTA program is a really great way to do that. I'm putting money back into this community, and I'm helping out military families across the country. I know that I'm making a difference with what I do. No matter who you are, no matter what walk of life you come from, one day, United Way agencies, one or many, are going to affect somebody you know. I've become very passionate about the support for Springhaven. I myself am an abuse victim. I am starting to go out and speak on a monthly basis to the women that live there and tell them, to show them that, there is an after, and it's great, and they can do it. That is what I love about United Way. It's not just that I donate out my check, and I can see firsthand on the faces of real people what my donation and what my time means in their lives.
Like the fact that the money that I give, I know where it's going. I know it's going to help my friends and family.
It makes me, as well as every other employee that gives to United Way, feel very good because they're all about kids. Whatever we can do for education, kids' health, backpack programs, they'll do it. They'll go the extra mile.
I became aware of some of the things United Way was doing in our community and liked what I was seeing. It was a good place to give my money, my energy. They were utilizing the funds and my time very wisely.
It's important that I'm involved with an organization that supports the communities where I live and work in. And considering that my farm is a brick, I personally live in Meade County, but work here in Elizabethtown. I like to see an organization that supports all three of those counties.
I think it's important for small business to recognize the gift that they can give. It doesn't matter the size of the gift, it just matters that it's done with the right motivations. It's amazing how much money you can put away. I just don't want the end of my life that most of my money was spent on nail polish, a soft drink, an air, a burger out. I can take that money and I can give it to United Way, and it really adds up. And it's helped me budget better because I'm setting priorities.
Chris, would you like to come up and say a few words?
I hadn't planned to because obviously Kirk and Darren had done such a fabulous job, but
Darren, thank you, and Kirk, thank you for all that you've said. I don't know what you can add, Chris, but I'm sure you can. So.
well, I appreciate that and the honor to be here today. We really, really appreciate it. We're trying to become much more than a fundraising agency. We really want to be seen in our community and region as a change agent. And so when we ask you to support our work, we expect and want you to expect that there'll be a return on that investment, a measurable, visible difference. And so in advance of your leadership and support, we appreciate everything you do.
How many programs does United Way support?
Absolutely. 18 agencies.
18 agencies.
And some of those agencies have multiple programs.
Yeah. And if you know of a family that's been impacted and you want to contribute or designate your contributions to go to that certain agency, then that can be done as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The pledge form that's inside of the brochure, you can designate by county. If you live in Elizabethtown, perhaps work in LaRue County, live in Elizabethtown and live in LaRue County, or wherever your home community is, even if it's outside of our 5-county area. You can also designate to any of our 3 focus areas of education, income, and health that we believe are the building blocks for a good quality of life for all, or any of those 18 funded agencies can be written in as well.
Thank you, Chris. On behalf of the city, I want to thank you and Kirk and Darren for coming to talk to us today. And I encourage and challenge everyone to support United Way and our employees. A lot of our employees give last year, and we're meeting with all the departments individually and encouraging them to give again this year.
There's a tremendous culture of giving here, so it is absolutely an honor.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sherry, you want to give us a tourism update?
Hi, how's everybody doing today?
Good.
Great. As we reported last month, the Tourism Bureau received state approval for sports park signage. The signposts and panels have been delivered to the street department and will be going up over the next few months as time allows. The sports park logo was placed on the I-65 blue logo signs, and once the new West Kentucky Parkway exit is finished, we'll also be adding signs there as well. All the 2012 baseball and softball events at the park are now finished. Over the next 6 weeks, the events at the park will be for cross-country, youth soccer, and football. To date, a total of 17 events have been held at the sports park that have included out-of-town teams. 354 teams have played at these events, which includes over 5,000 participants. These events have drawn over 18,000 visitors to the park, and an estimated economic impact through October 14th is over $2.9 million. A press release announcing the preliminary 2013 schedule of events for the park will be released later this week or early next week. The schedule will also be posted on the event calendar at elizabethtownsportspark.com. Next week, Jana Clark and I will be attending and presenting at the Kentucky Travel Industry Annual Conference being held in Bowling Green. Since our last report, the tourism building was used 9 days to hold 15 meetings with 634 attendees. Mayor Walker, I saw that you spoke at the monument dedication last Saturday. How did that go?
It went really well, and I want to thank tourism and also Cecilian Bank for sponsoring the monument. We had people that came in from Florida and Illinois that were descendants of people that fought for the 91st Illinois back in the Civil War here in Elizabethtown. And one Some of them were descendants of a soldier that was actually killed in that battle. So it was a very good event, and people were very excited and appreciative of the monument. And we're going to plan to do more of those things to tell more about our history. And thank you, Sherry, for tourism support on that.
Thank you, and I appreciate all the work that was put into that. Other than us helping out financially, we actually didn't do very much, but we have such a great history here and a lot of dedicated folks that use their time wisely to put together events such as that, and we appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions?
One more thing I'd like to add. It's amazing to me how many people get off the interstate out here because they want to see the cannonball in the wall of the building downtown. And now we have a monument to go with that to tell the story about the battle that took place here. So, and people get off this interstate out here just to see the cannonball. I'm sure everyone at this table has heard the same comment. So,
We're double tourism, just so we know.
The cannonball sure has contributed. So we're trying to add
It absolutely has, and once we're able to package all of our history attractions together, it really does turn into something that is a draw for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Emily, give us a State Theater update.
Are you stealing my remote stuff? Yeah. I just want to say that we had a great weekend in downtown Elizabethtown this weekend. Heath Seymour, I know, was the most participated second Saturday that I think that they've had, and we also did well at the State Theater. I had over 400 in total attendance for the movie The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, which is, of course, the Don Knotts classic film. People love that movie. It just continually come out year after year for that one, so it was great. So there was just a lot of fun stuff. Downtown was packed this weekend, which is so exciting for us at the theater. So to continue in the spirit of Halloween, because I know there was a lot of Halloween activities that went on, we're also doing a Halloween film series that I've had a lot of phone calls about and people seem to be very excited about. Starts out on October the 25th with a totally free movie showing of The Little Shop of Horrors starring Jack Nicholson. And also on Friday, October 26th, we'll be doing The Night of the Living Dead. And also on Saturday, the 27th, we'll do 3 films that day with The Goonies, Ghostbusters, and Jamie Lee Curtis's Halloween. So people love that. Be scared. Also coming up in November, country duo Steel Magnolia, who won CMT's Can You Do It? They'll be joining us on November 2nd. And comedian Etta Mae makes her second appearance at the State Theater on November 17th. There will also be a catered dinner in the First Federal Gallery before, so if you'd like to attend that, please RSVP with us. It will be catered by Tony Yorks on Main out of Glendale, so very excited about that. Also stay tuned for Christmas because there's a lot of fun stuff for that one too. So, any questions? No? All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Emily. Keith, you want to talk about our quarterly downtown meeting? It's coming up next week.
It's also going to mention this second Saturday we did have a great turnout. We had a lot of things going on: the Zombie Fest, the Chili Cook-Off, and live music, and I don't know how many people, but maybe 1,000 to 1,500 people at least down in the area. So it was a really nice night, and kind of want to thank few folks. 107.3 The Point and Pandarilla Productions helped with the concert, and Sugar Fast and Cakes and How to Readaville with Zombie Fest, and of course tourism with everything with Second Saturday, and many others, a lot of volunteers. But we had a great night. Hope people can come out for our next Second Saturday. It's every month, and this one was particularly good with wonderful weather, and City Council did pretty good at the Chili Cook-Off, so we were glad to see y'all out too. Our next event is Nightmare on the Square coming up at the end of the month on the 27th, and anybody wants information on that, it's at nightmareonthesquare.com, and that's another great downtown event that's coming up. But just before that, on the 25th, as you mentioned, Mayor, we have our next quarterly downtown design meeting. And out of these meetings, we've been talking to people, asking them what do they want to see downtown. Do they want more events? Do they want more restaurants? What do they want? How do they want the place to look? And so every quarter, we try to make progress on that. And so on the 25th, we're going to be down at the State Theater at 5:30 to about 7 o'clock. Everybody's invited to come out and put in their 2 cents about how they'd like this town to look and what they'd like to see down there. And some of the topics up for discussion, if you have ideas about, well, anything. I mean, the sidewalks have come up, and you can see the response. We've had people wanting more events, and we've got more events. They want more shops. We've been opening on net a new business a month for a year. So this is where it's coming from, is these quarterly meetings, and those people that show up and they say, we want to see this and we want to see that. Right now, the city owns a few properties. Maybe people have a great idea for what could happen with those. If you want to come out and share those ideas, things happen as a result of you showing up to these sorts of meetings. And people ask, well, how would I get those things done? You've got to be the one in the room. You've got to be in the room, and those are the people that make things happen. So if you're wanting to see things happen around your town, please show up that night and let us know what it is that you'd like to see happen, and give in your 2 cents and your opinions about how things should look and how things should go, and love to have you out for that.
You don't have to own a business downtown or property or live in the downtown area. You could live anywhere in the community, and if you have an interest and love for downtown, then come to our meetings.
That's right, and it's fun. I mean, we've been able to do a little brainstorming. There's time to go back and forth and talk openly about ideas. You can get creative with it, and and be as specific as you want with your ideas. But we've had good attendance. We've had good attendance at them, and we've definitely had success. I mean, we've been doing the things that people are asking us to do. So please come out. And if you have any more questions.
Anyone want to comment about the chili cook-off?
Just going to say, great job Saturday night. Unfortunately, that's the very first time I'd ever been downtown to one of the events, and I was extremely impressed. And if you've never been, you really should go. Like I said, I think you did a great job, and I'm real pleased with all the events that you've got coming up. I think you're doing a great job at it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think it was really good closing off Main Street there for that band. That was a good place to have it. It sounded good. The band sounded good, and it sounded good in that area, sort of coming up Main Street there. I like that.
And we talked about that more for next year. We'd like to see a summer concert series. We'd like to do that every month, probably starting in June and going through October. It's November's coming, so things will, on the second Saturdays, things start to go back inside the shops a little bit. So it's a little slower, a little more casual through the winter, but we want to, get to it pretty good in the concerts or something. We'd really like to have a lot more of down there.
You might be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mayor, speaking of chili, we did not hire a professional cook that had been trained. And what we did do was to labor out of love and support the community. So with that, it's our pleasure. Nothing about that. It was all about raising funds. United Way doesn't care where the money comes from as long as it comes, right? Same thing with Heath. He just wanted money. He didn't care if we were buying and voting on our own chili. But that said, here is the 2012 Chili Cook-Off, People's Choice second place. First place went to the police department, and when they won that, their budget got cut in half.
Yeah. They're on a bike patrol.
They're all bike patrolling now.
It was the spiciest.
We're all eating what the dog eats.
The dog eats well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And I want to add to what Kenny said. Heath, we appreciate what you're doing and engaging the downtown business owners and trying to make downtown better. We're trying to do that as well with our infrastructure improvements and things. So we're going to get there. It's just going to take some time. And somebody asked the other night, well, when are you going to get all the sidewalks done? I said, well, it's a work in progress. And remember that word progress. So we're going to get there.
I was just mentioning, I'm glad.
I didn't say you said it.
No. I mean, we've been talking about sidewalks for forever, and now they're here. Now they're getting done.
I want to add just a little something on the sidewalks. Kind of, I've worked around the sidewalk projects in a lot of different towns, and in some of these places, you'll get grant money. You'll get money to come in for these things, and it'll be 6 years or something. We just started talking about getting those things redone last year, and you can see work started. And that's different. Now, I've been in several towns that it would take years to get something done like that. So even if it's a little delayed, a month or something, I really appreciate the progress and how fast that happened down there. So I want to say thanks for that.
We have a construction manager that's on staff that really enjoys that project, so he's doing a good job. Thank you, Heath. All right, we have one ordinance for a second reading, and I'll entertain a motion to read ordinance number 23. Have a second reading. Motion. ordinance number 23-2012, amending the official zoning map for property located in the 2700 block of Ronnieville Road from future development holding FDH to residential 2 R2.
So moved.
Second.
And motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Dee Dee?
Okay, and this being a second reading, in summary, this is ordinance number 23-2012, which is amending the official zoning map for property located in the 2700 block of Ronnieville Road from future development holding to residential 2. This change is being made at the request of the developer, Fox Lair Properties LLC, and this ordinance was read the first time on October the 1st, 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
A motion second, and this is a roll call vote starting with Councilmember Thomas.
Yes.
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 Thank you. All members present voting yes. We have one ordinance for a first reading, and I'll entertain a motion to have a first reading of ordinance number 24-2012, setting meeting date and time for the Historic Preservation Commission.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Dee Dee?
And be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, that from and after the passage, approval, and publication of this ordinance, that the Historic Preservation Commission will meet on the first Thursday of each month at 9 a.m. in the council chamber of City Hall. Be it further ordained that the mayor of the city and or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this ordinance. Read the first time the 15th day of October, 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. And we'll have a second reading on that at the first meeting in November. All right, we have one municipal order, and we talked about this at the work session last Monday, and this is to approve an agreement with Property Consulting Group Global, PCG. And does anyone have any comments or questions before I entertain a motion to read the municipal order? Not, I'll entertain a motion to read municipal order number 81-2012, approving agreement with Property Consulting Group Global, PCG, to provide sponsor solicitation and services.
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
At a regular meeting of the City Council of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, held on the date set out below, motion to read and adopt the following municipal order was duly made, seconded, and approved. Be it ordered that the City of Elizabethtown approves the agreement with Property Consulting Group Global to provide sponsor solicitation services for the Elizabethtown Sports Park. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and or his designate be and he is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this order. Read, adopted, and approved this the 15th day of October, 2012.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. We have some informational items. Let everyone know trick or treat will be Wednesday, October the 31st.
Sure.
Yes, definitely. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And the next item, I believe Ed's going to talk about Haycraft Neighborhood Coming Home event.
We're going to have an event next Saturday, the 27th. It's going to be held down at the police station in their community room. And even though it is through the city's grant program and we are specifically targeting the Haycraft neighborhood where we're currently working, the community as a whole is invited. There will be programs on budgeting and credit counseling, those type things. So if you need that kind of information, you're more than welcome. The police department is going to talk about neighborhood watch programs and safety in your home and those kind of things too. But it starts at 9 o'clock on Saturday the 27th. And like I said, it's specifically for the folks in Haycraft, but if others in the community would like to attend, they're more than welcome to be there.
Thank you, Ed. Do you have anything you want to add to that? Or ask of Ed? Okay. Timber Lane, Ronnieville Road intersection construction. Scott's going to tell us all we need to know about that.
Thank you, Mayor. Got word from the state today that Timber Lane will be closed starting Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday it'll be closed at Ronnieville Road while they do that construction. It'll open late Thursday and it'll be in rock only at that point. They're going to start paving on Friday, weather allowing, and they're going to pave with traffic going through. So they'll pave a lane, move everybody over to the other one, When they get that lane done and it's ready to have traffic, then they'll switch it. So that's the Timber Lane one.
Do you have any questions, comments?
I'm going to ask the same normal question of this, and I know this is a state project, but have the residents back here been notified with a letter or something, or we're just hoping that they'll know this?
I got the email this morning, so I'm not sure.
To notify them, or the state has to notify them back there?
I will check with the state.
They will normally do a
Message board is what they would normally do.
announcement and put out information on
Yes.
media services, so we'll have to check to see what plans they have for that.
I will check
I know
with
they
them.
closed Johnstown Road. We had the reader board.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I think there was a little thing in the paper.
I think the state's planning on doing the same thing out there, I believe.
I would believe they would follow their normal practices. Yes, sir.
But we'll check on that. You want to
Yes,
check on this?
I'll check with him. I'll check with John tomorrow.
Okay. We'll take the next one, North Miles.
Yes, sir. We're going to have to shut water off again for some residents on North Mile Street starting tomorrow morning at 9:30, putting door hangers out to let everybody know that their water is being turned off. It's continuing that North Miles project as we.
For how long?
For 2 hours, 9:30 to 11:30. So we normally get calls even with door hangers out, but we'll field those calls and take them as they come. I'm hoping this is one of our last ones. They're almost past the city's water service, so then they get to deal with the county and shutting their water off. So that's my goal.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to add one thing to the downtown project. I mentioned our construction manager, Charlie, which is really enjoying that project and supervising everyone. But I'd also like to commend Don Hill and the Public Works staff. They've spent a lot of time and effort down there. And also we've had Stormwater, Steve Blocker's crew down there on a few occasions to help out with the grease trap issues and things like that. So I appreciate all the city employees for what they're doing and the many long hours that they put in down there, and continue to do that. Does anyone in the audience have anything they'd like to address the council with today?
Mayor, I believe we got a Boy Scout.
Oh, do we have a Boy Scout? Okay. You want to come to the podium and give us your name and the troop number you're with and tell us what you're working on?
My name is Riley Crawford, and I'm with Troop 233. I'm working on my citizenship in the community merit badge.
Riley, we appreciate you being here today, and hope you've learned something.
Appreciate you having me.
Hope if you have anything to share with us, maybe you can teach us something. So, no, it's good to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for.
Anyone else?
Mayor, I would like to say that Marty Finley liked the city's chili better than the police department's, but I'm afraid he would get a speeding ticket and we couldn't help him out, so.
All right. Council have anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting to conduct deliberation on future acquisition or sale of real property by the city, to discuss the general nature of existing and possible litigation by the city, and to discuss personnel which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, member, or student.
So moved.
Second.
Have motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you. No action to be taken.
I noticed you got here pretty quick over there.